No Rest for the Wicked was showcased a few days ago to content creators and magazines for the first time, and not only showcased, but people could actually play the tutorial area of the game. This is the new game by the creators of Ori, and a lot of people are wondering, what is it now? How does it feel? What can we expect from this game? Well, the game is actually going into early access on April 18th, so in just about a month you can check it out for yourself. But as I said, this is like the first impressions of the game and of the tutorial area. And they're saying this is an action RPG with some survival aspect mixed into it. Now, to make it really clear, if you were expecting an action RPG like Path of Exile, Diablo, or even Last Epoch right now, this is not really what you are getting. What you are getting is more a Souls-like experience, where you are fighting against one or two enemies at a time, and those fights are very tough. You will get a lot of damage, but you will also deal quite a bit of damage, and you can die relatively quickly if you are not careful. So the whole thing of killing hundreds and hundreds of enemies at a time and feeling like a god is not really happening here, at least not at the beginning of the game. Like as I said, you are focusing on one-to-one combat. It feels very sloppy, very heavy. Like even if you are using like different weapons like a dagger, it feels rather heavy what you were doing, because your armor is also mattering, right? They're using the armor system from the Soul series, they're using the weapon system. Like, if you are seeing the gameplay of this game and the RPG elements of No Rest for the Wicked, you will realize very quickly, okay, this is a Souls-like game. That's what you will get. You will get a Souls-like game from a top-down perspective. And I think that's pretty cool. It's something we haven't really seen that often. And the creators of Ori have shown that they can already take existing games and enhance on them quite a bit. So I'm really looking forward to what they can actually do with this game. But the combat looks really cool. As I said, it seems like they are also focusing a lot on like certain stances. So depending on which weapon you are using, your combat style will actually change quite a bit. And I'm not just talking about you using a dagger and a sword, or you using a two-handed sword and an axe, and then your combat style will change. It seems like that every weapon in the game, that's at least what the developers have promised, will have its own combat style, which is quite a bit. Now, the next question you probably have is, but Mo, look, I'm not really the melee fighter in those type of games. Can I do something else? The good news is, yes, you can use bow and arrow if you so desire. And yes, there's also magic in the game. So if you like to swing a staff with fireballs, then you can actually do that. As you can see here, also exploring is a big part of the world. There are a lot of secrets and treasures hidden. There will be secret bosses in a lot of areas. And again, the more you are seeing from this game, you just think, oh, this could be a Souls-like game, because, well, it is. It is a Souls-like game. And they do the same thing with character progression. In most action RPGs, right, you are choosing a class, and then you have your talent trees, and depending on which talents you're choosing, you will kind of determine your class. In this game, they're doing the same thing like in the Soul series. You are upgrading your perks, and then depending on the weapons and armor you're wearing, you kind of define your class through those things. And so far, as I said, the feeling of this is a top-down Souls-like is definitely there. What they are also doing, it's very interesting when it comes to item rarity. You will see here in just a few. And the item rarity is pretty simple. You have white items, you have your blue items, purple, and then you have your legendaries. But instead of just giving you more perks, the whole item rarity is actually a little bit different in this game, where white items are just very customizable, and you can do a lot of things with them through crafting. And the blue items are just giving you the usual, here are a few affixes which will increase your weapons. Then there are the purple items, which are cursed items. So they give you a huge boost in affixes, but they come with a catch. You can lose money. You can lose XP. You can carry less, right? They always come with a catch. And then you see the legendary weapons, and the legendary weapons are just like handcrafted. They will probably drop with some very specific bosses, and those are probably the items you want in the end, right? But this is how they are doing it with upgrading your weapons, and I find it really interesting. Now, you have already noticed that I'm also talking a little bit about the whole survival aspect, right? What do you mean by their survival aspects in this game? Do I have to eat all the time? Do I have to drink all the time? No, nothing like that. But what I mean when I'm talking about survival aspects is you can cut down trees, you can mine ore, right? And then you can use those resources to upgrade your city so that your blacksmith can craft better weapons or can upgrade better weapons. And if you have the money, you can actually buy your own house. There's housing in the game, and there's no furniture in the housing. You have to supplement the furniture yourself. And yes, the furniture is there to just look pretty or to help you with crafting. They haven't really showcased too much of the crafting, and unfortunately the demo they gave to content creators ends after the tutorial area, which is the area you see here in the background, and that's the moment where you are entering the city. So the moment you would get to the whole crafting area of the game, unfortunately that's where the demo ends, so we have to wait till April the 18th till we can check that out. But it definitely sounds really interesting. The boss fights look pretty cool. This is the first real boss you will meet by the end of the tutorial area. The boss fights have also multiple phases and multiple move sets you have to learn. Like, again, you see this game, and if somebody would have told me From Software is working on a Souls-like, but from a top-down perspective, I would believe it. I would say, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that it definitely looks like it. Like the quality, like the animation, the graphics, the gameplay, it's already there, right? Like it already looks really, really good. And I'm just curious to see more of the game. Now, the biggest question is, of course, you said that this is also a story-driven game. So after you're done with the story, it's the end of the game? No, actually. There is an end game for the game. They haven't really talked too much about it. Apparently, the end game is like you can summon specific bosses you maybe have already fought, and then they might have some new abilities. They didn't really talk too much about it, and they didn't really show it too much. But this is what they kind of hinted at. And as I said, the game is going into early access on April 18th. Yes, the game will have multiplayer, but it is important to note that when the game is going into early access, it will not have multiplayer. This will be the very first big patch they will introduce to the game, and then you can play with your friends or you can play against them, because there is apparently arena fights. That's what at least the artwork they showcased for like a second made it look like. So that could be interesting if there is some sort of PvP in the game. But yeah, you can also play it in co-op, or if you don't really want to do that, good news, you can just play it for yourself. I definitely look forward to this game. It looks like it will be quite a bit of fun. I'm always a huge fan of the Souls series. I've played them all and finished them all. So I cannot really wait to get my hands on this game and definitely play it when it goes into early access. If you want to know more about this game and want to see more of it here on the channel, please don't forget to leave a subscribe and also like the video if you enjoyed it. I definitely thank you for watching, and I hope I see you next time. Stay safe.